What's up, guys? Sub-Zerek here, back for another VOD review. And look, I did a Wasianiverson VOD review yesterday, but I have to do another one because he dropped another generational run of a stream today. I mean, look at this. Look at this graph. 1K LP to 1700 LP in 2 days. On the most insane streak of top fours, mostly top twos. He slacked a little bit at the end of today's stream. He had 2/5, so he's only averaging a 2.2 over his last 20. I grabbed the screenshot of the middle of his match history. This was the 20 game top four streak, 1.80 average. I think his top four streak ended up being even further than this, right? Because that ends with this fourth, and then he had maybe another fourth in there. So it was an over 20 game top four streak. A lot of them top twos. He's rank 1 North America. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, let's hop into the VOD and watch some Wasianiverson, because I mean, if you want to get better at TFT, you should watch every single game that he played. Wasianiverson is also somebody where, you know, there are other streamers out there, and yeah, this is actually when he's still at a 7th in his match history, the absolute noob, but he got that out after 2 games. You know, there's some TFT streamers out there where it feels like you watch them and you get a lot of watching their gameplay, but sometimes you could potentially, you know, mute the stream and get the same experience out of it. I'm not going to say any names, but there are some players where that is the case. Wasianiverson is not one of those people. Wasianiverson is somebody who not only is he insanely good at the game, but his commentary is also incredibly informative. He is always talking through his thought process, what he, you know, could do better. Oftentimes he's critiquing his own gameplay and like, oh, I probably should have done this. Oftentimes he'll be scouting the rest of the lobby and critiquing other people's gameplay. All of this to say you should definitely go watch, just like I said, all of his games. So we start off here with kind of an interesting opener. We had some of the pieces to the Syndra, you know, the Syndra and Ezreal, that kind of opener. But he starts off with this Nefiri 2 and says, okay, you know what? I can actually play around Nefiri 2 plus mech, and that can be my opener here. Itemization wise, there's only really one slam that exists in this spot, which is Adaptive Helm. The only downside to that is that you know, it's killing your tier item if you're a comp that really cares about tier. You know, Rise, you end up losing out on that like Archangel Void Staff, you know, slam. But you're not gonna make a Hodge, you're not gonna make a QSS, I'm just telling you. But yeah, first augment here, Placebo, Perfect Form, Second Wind. Placebo is like a very mediocre, okay econ augment. Obviously we're not gonna take Perfect Form here. He rolls and sees reroll transfer, and there is kind of a divergence here. You know, 2 different game plans that you can take here. You can take one of these econ augments, Placebo or reroll transfer, both of which are, you know, pretty solid econ. You know, I like reroll transfer better if you're playing a comp that can just take generic augments, because I mean, you're getting 3 gold, so you're getting you know, 36% of the value of the gold that you're getting, but then you also have all those extra rerolls. So I do like this better. I'm kind of insta roll Placebo. 1% attack speed is, I mean, it is a placebo. And then there's also Second Wind. You could take Combat Augment here. Now, normally I am afraid of, you know, if you're thinking about playing level 8 comp, and there's no real line towards reroll here. You know, we haven't hit any of these early reroll units like Kaisa, like Xayah, like Jhin, you know, none of those like 2 costs that play into reroll quite well. We haven't hit a Kog'Maw or Lulu that turns into Kog'Maw. So we basically have to play level 8 from this spot, and level 8 without econ augment is scary to me in general. Scout the lobby a bit, we see there's definitely somebody playing Ashe. Seems like some people playing like Prodigies. This guy, I mean, they have a Jhin too, so they could actually play into Jhin. I imagine they would, but we'll see here. Oh, I shouldn't do the spacebar thingy, but whatever. So there's the 2 routes, the econ augment or the combat augment. I really like Wajan's decision here, where he rerolls Placebo. You know, he's looking at the setup and he grabs Second Wind here. And the thinking behind this is Second Wind plus level up plus Nefiri 2 is strong enough that I have very good odds of win streaking here. He also makes another really cool call here, and he says, he says this out loud. He's like, if I don't fight somebody strong, I'm not going to power up here. I'm going to save that optionality to power up, because we have Lucian pair here, we have GP pair. I mean, imagine next shop we hit GP2, then you're going to feel really bad about powering up Nefiri. Sadly, we do rotate into somebody pretty strong, also level 4 keepers, pretty decent port as well. So we are forced to make this power up, and we are going to make the adaptive helm slam. And you know, after watching a ton of Wasianiverson, I think this game I want to review specifically because it is so emblematic of how he plays. It is a game where we started at 2-1. We took a, you know, not an econ augment, a combat augment here, slammed whatever item we had. We're not too worried. I'm pretty sure Wasian in the spot said, I can play anything from this spot. He's like, my spot is quite flexible because Adaptive Helm, it can be a frontline item, it can be a backline item, it can really go anything. You're probably not going to play like Ashe or something from this spot, but you can play this as a backline item on Rise. You can put it onto a Jarvan in the front line. You can put it onto Leona or Cassante and play Yumi. If Sorks was a comp, you could probably play that from this spot, but Sorks sadly is not a comp, so you can't do that. You can do Fast 9 stuff from this and throw this onto frontline. Like you can play anything from this position. You can play Star Guardian is I guess the other like S tier line that I did not mention there. And yeah, who cares? So you can play anything from this spot. We're holding on to the Soul Fighters here, which is smart because they are very likely to actually be our next in here. Probably Kalista, actually, even though she is a 1 cost. I think you just care more about the backline. There is also a world where you find Kalista plus the Senna, and then you get Executioner in, which is really cool. But yeah, we're going to sit on this board with an item slam, and it's just every game I watch Wasianiverson play, he's not sitting here greeting items. He's making slams and just saying, I'm going to figure out what comp I'm playing a little bit later into the game, but I'm going to prioritize playing for streak. It kind of reminds me of earlier on, actually does sell the Kalista there. That was a pre-level, right? Saying, I'm going to hold on to the Xinjiao here and just pre-level in this spot, and I care about having a higher cost unit. So, okay, that's what he wants here. Glove open here. The only slam that really makes sense as well is Guard Breaker. And I think the kind of like default line here, there is the, and we do pick up the, so losing out on the Kalista feels a little bit bad. I wonder if in hindsight he would say, I should have held Kalista pair there, because I kind of like, well, he didn't know it was Kalista pair, but Kalista over the dude, the Xinjiao. We can also ideally win this fight and make gold, which would be fantastic. But I mean, I would say our default line from this spot is Rise. Adaptive Helm, once again, it can be frontline, it can be backline. It can also, well, it has to be one of those. But yeah, it can be a Rise item or it can be a Jarvan item, so you feel pretty good about that. And then the Guard Breaker is also obviously a very good slam into that comp. I wish that we had Ashe items because we would just have a natural Ashe here and our game would be very easy. But yeah, that's probably not going to happen. So we're really just trying to win this last fight here. We just saw someone who already is a Yumi, actually. Yeah, and we rotate into them. 5 BA Yumi here. So he's forced to slam the Guard Breaker. We really, really need to win this fight. And I think it will be fine here. The Yumi just with 0 items should not do enough damage. So we do pick up this fight and pick up a 5 streak. So the spot's fantastic in this spot. Like I said, default, I would say, is into the Rise board. But, definitely could play other things. And Wasianiverson is definitely a player who will open himself up to other options. He is not going to lock in on one line just out of laziness. He is someone who is always going to be playing his strongest board, always going to be keeping his options open here. He hovered over the Koboko, as that is likely to be our next in here. Holds onto the Kalista, but is also going to hold onto the Katarina, because, I mean, why not in this spot here? And he does actually get rewarded for this. Picks up the Kalista too, picks up the 2-star Lucian, which, I mean, the only spot where you can fit this is over GP, but I don't know if you even want to. And we could hold this for some kind of mech game as well, which is another line you could open yourself into. All right, Belt Bow are items here. So the only slam we could make if we wanted it was a Nashor's. And ooh, he kind of I mean, he's just going to slam the belts here. It's actually a pretty close fight. I think we're going to be okay because this Lucian doesn't have spell crit. So the Guard Breaker is a little bit less valuable, but very close fight actually that we do end up clutching out here. And he does end up selling there to make gold. All right. Next augment here, Sated Spellweaver and Cloning Facility, kind of mediocre augments in general, whatever. And Wasianiverson sees Care Package, and I think, I mean, he kind of immediately hovers over this and is like, I'm excited about this. The idea being, Care Package is a very solid win streak augment in the spot where, and actually let me yap about Caretakers and then we can talk about the rest of the spot. It's a very solid win streak augment because, the further you get into the game, the more care packages you get. If you, die before stage 6, you're not going to get a stage 6 care package. So a pretty good augment in general in a spot like this. The only thing that I think is kind of awkward about care package, if you look at like kind of the loot tables, is you can get dupes, which like, I mean, it's not even horrible here. You could make random GP2. Another smart call from Wasianiverson. We have this Guard Breaker made at this point. Fantastic item onto Executioners. So we're going to remove the Nefiri and remove the power up off of the Nefiri. Now, very important here, we're not going to power up the Kalista. We talked about this in the last VOD. Also, I can't use spacebar to pause. I wish I could. The best power up we can hit in this situation is Socialite onto the Atrox. Not only is this a fantastic power up for now, but it is also a fantastic power up for later when we are going to be playing into, theoretically the Rise board. So we're going to go for this. He slams the belt here, and if we fight somebody strong, he's open to slamming Evan's Shroud here, which I think is a very cool idea, which... I mean, I think, worst case, we do play this into Rise, and, you just have this, and, I mean, the comp does decent mixed damage, right? You have the Senna, you have a Yasuo 2-0, who are hidden here, actually. Do you play this over Kabuko here? I feel like I would, but we'll see. Obviously, you lose heavyweight, which is kind of rough, but, I mean, it's a Yasuo too. I feel like you must, but I think he's going to say the heavyweight. Looks like he's saying the heavyweight is more... Oh, wow, he's going to level for the Kennen here and chill. The Kennen for Sork on this board for the Lucian. That is wild, but okay. We are going to level up here. We are obviously very rich because we've streaked the entire game with Midas Touch. That's nice. I mean, is he ever thinking about selling stuff on bench here? Is that his idea here? Yeah, he's going to sell and make 40 gold here. Turn down the Yasuo 2 because he says, you know what? I don't want to lose heavyweight on this board. This also allows me to make 40. And at this point, now that we've continued our streak, we have the Midas Touch. We've made so much gold, right? We are level 740 right there. Wasian can start saying, wait a minute. I mean, I'm going to get a little bit of gold from care package across the course of the entire game. I can probably just go Fast 9 in this spot here. We pick up Karma, who's actually a great pickup, because now we can play 5 mech. We have to decide what the last unit to cut here is, which it kind of seems like it must be Kabuko here. But yeah, we get 5 mech in here, which is so nice. He's also doing the Aatrox dancing, where we move it around the stage just to, try to hit as many hexes as possible. I mean, really, it's just kind of like you want to put one in the bottom left, one in the middle, one in the bottom right, and then top left, top right, and then back to bottom left. And then you basically end up socializing the entire board, which is very easy. But yeah, I mean, if we win one more fight, and even if we don't, we can look at a Fast 9 game from this spot, which we've talked about a trillion times before. But anytime you are offered a chance to Fast 9, if you can execute on it, you should do it. Now that is a big if. You do have to be careful because I've seen very, very many people bot for from Fast 9. Oh my God, what is my cat doing? I've seen a lot of people bot for from Fast 9 on this patch, myself included. It's not for the faint of heart. You've seen a lot of gold here. We'd love a last gold econ augment, honestly, and invested plus, something like that, to kind of get us over the hump to getting to those units. If not that, then we can also just do a slower Fast 9, like a 5-2 Fast 9. And I mean, on 10 streak, the spell looks fantastic, and I don't know. I love how Wasian played around his early game here. I mean, if you think from the perspective of just like upgrades wise, we have a Callista 2 and Aatrox, not even an Aatrox 2, a Callista 2 and a Fury 2, and we have been able to leverage that into a 10 streak just by slamming our best items, which I think is just so nice. I think a lot of players would, falter in this spot here. Oh my God, leveling for TF. I mean, that's high roll. I think a lot of players would falter in this spot because they would be, too greedy about their items, say, I need BIS for my comp, and that's where they would miss out on something as insane as this insane 10 streak. Are you chewing on something, kitty? This cat loves to... Here, let me take this away. It's the little, like, drawstrings. Here, this is an interactive YouTube video. I'll show you guys these little things. She loves these little, like, drawstrings for the windows. She loves chewing on those, and I don't think she's supposed to. All right, let's look at items here. So... At this point, we've kind of confirmed that we are Fast 9. That, to me, makes me think of Shojin, just because we want to guarantee, Varus item Shojin red buff here, and then hold on to the rest. Could even be Shojin red Sterax. That's what I'm looking at here, but, I mean... I will defer to the master here from Wasianiverson here. He is going to make the red buff. I mean, the only thought is like maybe you could... Yeah, no, I think you do just make this. And this is your setup here. Will he slam the Sterax is, I guess, the question. He will not. Okay, so he wants to save these components as better kind of like damage items. We only really have a 2-item Varus at this point. We kind of do need to save the sword for IE. Yeah, so I like this this hold a lot here to say like we do kind of need IE. And also, who cares about streaking the rest of the stage? I mean, we can 5-loss this stage and we'll be fine. Certainly not going to be the golden egg, though I'm sure everyone in his Twitch chat was yapping about it. Certainly not going to be Blazing Soul in this spot. Like I said, you'd love in this spot an invested plus. Belt Overflow. I mean, the Fast 9 comp really does not run that many tanks, so I don't think you really need it. Sword Overflow doesn't give you the IE. It does give you, like, Sterax, DB, DB. It seems okay. Wasian offers over the Water Lotus, though. And I think this makes a lot of sense from the perspective of yeah, like you have a Varus who is critting. Like I think the Water Lotus Varus interaction is quite nice, where the Water Lotus refreshes his mana, you know, when he crits, and that is giving him more arrows. So yeah, 15% of your mana over 3 seconds, and then if you're just critting, you're just constantly like refreshing that and getting more and more and more arrows. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And the other thing that's really interesting about this is we missed on econ augment. I think if there was invested plus here, it would have been the take from Wasian. But this is a triple combat augment fast 9 game, which is crazy, right? I mean, I think there are very few people who would, you know, be able to play a strong enough early game to support this, to be able to actually, you know, make it there. Ooh, this is a wow. Yeah, I don't know if I completely support that. Yeah, I do think you do kind of need to play this board for now. I don't think we cut 5 mech on this board. I think we just chill on it. He was looking at cutting the Callista for Rise, but I mean, the fact that Callista's Soul Fighter here is actually, you know, quite consequential. So we're going to sack the rest of this stage because, yeah, this is going to have to be, you know, we can't like 4-5 it, obviously, with this amount of gold. But we are triple combat augment. So if we make it to the board at all, we just need some kind of 2-star frontliner. Glove, I imagine, is the take here if we can pick it up. If not, we can look for the belt slam, but oh, okay. I don't know why he didn't go straight for the glove, but whatever. I mean, it looks like, I mean, he ends up getting it anyway, so we're chilling. But yeah, like I do think it's crazy to be in this spot where, you know, we have no econ augment, but we are level 8, 80 gold. I mean, the other crazy thing is we're so stable. I mean, we've lost. We won a fight 4-2, and our losses have not. I mean, now that this loss is going to be a little bit bad, but the board's not even horrible at this point, which just is a testament to the board that Wasianiverson has built at this point. You know, dropped to 55 HP here, but because we 100 streaked, we are totally fine. I mean, even if we get 10-0'd here and 10-0'd at 5-1, it's going to be okay because we have 55 HP to work with. You know, we'll be like 30 HP in that case scenario, which it's a very realistic case scenario, but if that happens, it's totally fine. And once again, the socialite on Aatrox, I mean, so many people have, you know, yapped about how broken it is, and I feel like people haven't yapped enough about how broken it is, honestly, but just doing fantastic work here, buffing up our entire board, especially when we are going to be this fast 9 style board where we have multiple carries. We have the TF to play around, we have the Varus to play around, we have the Braum to play around, we have the I mean, yeah, those are the big ones. You know, Zyra as well, I guess, as kind of she can be a carry. But yeah, we are going to pre-pump a lot here. I'm curious. I'm gonna make a bet here that Wasian is not going to level here and that he's just gonna sit on this, but we'll see. We get our item here, which is so nice, lucky item chest off of the care package, and then we have to figure out what the rest of our items are. I mean, I imagine we're taking some kind of tank item plus TF item. GS is not bad onto TF, some kind of like redemption GS idea. Sounds like fine to me, but then we do have this leftover anvil here, which we could honestly hold for a little while. IETF, I think, is fine. He's going to go like Gumbly, which is interesting. And then he's going to take Rod here for Gwinsu. Okay, so we finish it out like this. Okay, this looks pretty good. Finish out TF items and hold the sword open for later. I mean, we can always get another component out of care package later. So rotate into this this BA board. I mean, this fight, honestly, this is an amazing loss here, down to 30 HP exactly here. I think Wasian's very happy about that. Now let's bring it down to normal speed here for the level 9 roll down. He did pre-level here. He is going to full sell his entire board, including the Aatrox even. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we have to, I mean, we're losing, I mean, you do need to cut him for the board. So yeah, I guess you're not able to play Aatrox to get social life value. It would be so nice to get social life value on this board, but I mean, he just doesn't fit, right? So continuing to roll here, picks up Rise. Still has not found a Varus yet, which is a little sus. Can't make Rise 2. You certainly don't want to make Rise 2. Find Varus the last second. Ooh, doesn't actually have time to fit it in here. So we're going to have to put these items here onto the Rise. So yeah, I mean, we're going to get all of our tank items onto Jarvan here. The Rise is going to hold for the Varus for a sec here. It's funny, yeah, I mean, the Rise here is, it's kind of tragic that he has to hold items, though. I mean, honestly, with all these slams, this fight's pretty close. We are going to take a loss here, which is a little bit tragic, but such is life. 18 HP. I mean, it's a little bit scary, but we did find the Varus at least, and there's the TF2 to help stabilize us. So here's our board. We do... Man, yeah, I was hyped up about the, I mean, Shadow Clone always feels good. I was hyped up about the Aatrox, but I mean, it's Socialite for the mid game, and then pivot into this in the late game, which is so cool as well. But yeah, We now have a pretty decent front line. The Jarvan 2 with body change is going to be decent enough. The double TFs, both with red buff, by the way, one on each side can both spread red buff, which is really nice. And then the Varus, who, stuck on Varus 1 for now, but if we can find Varus 2, we'll feel really good here. We have Braum paired here, so that is Braum. Or we don't have Braum pair, but this is a Braum pair that we can take off carousel with Guinsoo. Only downside is Guinsoo is kind of mediocre. We do have one Reforger open here, and there's the Braum 2, which is huge. You could even, I wonder, I mean, you could move red buff over to Zyra and then double Guinsoo the TF. The only downside is that this TF is actually doing, I don't think you can even do that. So he ends up reforging it, finds another Even Shroud, which is honestly not that bad, allows you to just spread Even Shroud to the entire board. So I don't hate it. And I mean, the upside of reforging is so high there. Like there's so many good things that you can hit. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Rotate into a pretty strong board here actually and take a loss here, which is really scary. We get to open the chest here. We got some gold in it, praying for a Varus 2 here one time. We find Cassante 2, which is a big hit. Immediately move everything over, and we're going to power him up. Warming up, not good enough. And we do find Unstoppable. Unstoppable Cassante, even after the nerf, so good, just because he flies in there, he CCs people. I mean, we even CC'd this Horizon Focus. What is that, actually? What unit is that? I couldn't even... Was that set? Horizon Focus set, I guess? I couldn't even make out what unit that was over just him getting destroyed, but all good here. We do pick up the win here, which allows us to lock into the top 4, continue his streak of top 4s, which he did break eventually. But I mean, it's so funny, like even in the insane case where he does bot 4, he goes like 5th, like when is the last time Wasianiverson went 8th? Somebody go into his match history and comment down below and tell me, because I would not be surprised if it was forever ago. We do pick up our extra component here. We do find Zyra 2 here, which we do kind of have to make here. And then boom, there is Varus 2. I will say, Wasianiverson actually makes an egregiously bad mistake this round. It's actually kind of insane, but it is just, funny to see the best player, I mean, the best player on the server. He's absolutely smurfing, and even he can make an egregious mistake. We duped Janna here, instead of just duping the Swain and then selling the Swain and the Janna we had and making two-star Varus. This is actually a horrible misplay. He could have gone for it, and he realizes right after he does it, but he was just like, oh, Janna 2, I'll make Janna 2. But we rotate into a very strong level 9 Yuumi board, or actually, no, this is a Star Guardian board, and look at this fight. Look how close this fight is, man. He actually, that would have been justice. That would have been justice if he had lost that fight because of that. He actually very easily could have gone 4th this lobby instead of what is looking like, a top 1 now. But I mean, just, that's what TFT is all about. Part skill. He played this game out fantastically, but even when you misplay, sometimes Mortog has your back, and I don't know, it's just hilarious. But at this point, we are disgustingly strong with the Varus. Moved the power up over, found Doom Barrage on him, which is really his best power up. So at this point, we are just clearing everybody. BBTY, last player in the lobby. Man, it's so cool to see all of these regional names. Some of the best players across the world still playing on NA. This lobby has BBTY in it. I think everybody else in the lobby's an NA player, but I mean, just cool to see. And he actually, he opts to move GS over to Braum here, saying GS is probably gonna be better on Braum. He's a better damage unit than the Zyra here. I don't know how this, I mean, okay, he does end up getting a cast off, so it's okay. We do pick up the win here against BBTY. Didn't really look close, honestly. I mean, I respect it from BBTY to try to play out the rest of the game and see it through, but he could FF here. There are definitely NA players who would FF here and just say, okay, get it over with. The only thing that we have to worry about positioning-wise here is making sure that our Braum is on top of the Malphite here. It's very easy for somebody else to move the Malphite slightly and drop it, though that is not what's going to occur here. So we are going to get a really big cast onto the Malphite. We're even going to unstoppable the Malphite as well. Kind of ironic that we unstoppable the Malphite, because that's his ulti, but we do. Oh my god, actually we take a loss here. Oh, all right. This is why you play out games of TFT, folks. Like I said, I respect it from BBTY, but he actually wins this fight with all of his upgrades. I mean, his board does not suck by any means. His board is very good. I'm surprised that fight was a loss still. So he's actually going to spread the board out here, try not to get AoE'd by anything. We're going to try to get a really good Cassante ult. You can Cassante into backline here, and he does get it. Oh my god. Yeah, if you position just like that, I mean, Cassante is going to dash to the closest unit and then dash straight to backline. Oh, a positioning masterclass to finish it out as well from Wasianiverson to get the unstoppable into backline. Oh, I mean, this guy's just too good at the game. Well, what an incredible VOD and what an incredible run from Wasianiverson. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. Once again, I'm going to have the link to Wasianiverson's YouTube channel down below where he's posting a lot of these games. And I know he hasn't been doing the YouTube channel for that long. So I think there are probably a lot of people who haven't subscribed to him yet. So go definitely subscribe to him down below and subscribe to me as well. I mean, look, you know, you got it to help somebody else. You got to help yourself. Check out my Twitch down below as well. I'm going to be streaming Tacticians Trials tomorrow. I'm going to be playing in that day one. So come check it out. Cheer me on where I play against NA's finest. All right. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.